Welcome back, everybody, to Total Nonstop Impact. Yeah, Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch this evening. To my left, your right, Alicia's with me, joining the old J-Bone tonight. How you doing?
Ayo, I am just super. Thanks for asking. Yourself?
Tremendous. I'm all right. We got a plethora of drinks tonight. We got something I've never had before. This is strawberry Yarritos. I'm going to guess on the pronunciation. My Spanish is horrible, so please forgive me if I did botch that. My son, who was just over, and we were celebrating his graduation on Tuesday, and we had a taco bar.
Nice.
And he and his sister came over, and we went shopping for all the taco stuff. So we were in the ethnic section, the Mexican food section, and he's always grabbed one of those orange ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you always grab those. I'm like, are those good? He's like, yeah, they're really good. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna grab one. And they had like pineapple and a couple different flavors, but I grabbed strawberry. So I'm trying that tonight, and it's yummy. It's not a flavor of soda you have every day. Usually it's a cola or a Sprite or something.
It's a treat. Soda's a treat for me. I don't have it all the time. It's not like a common drink.
Yeah, I've really tried to cut out the soda recently. I went to Taco Bell, just admitted. No, it was all homemade. All homemade. And no Taco Bell. It was authentic as much as I'm gonna go authentic. Yeah, I started buying a lot more like flavored seltzers instead of sodas. So I'm trying to be a little more healthy.
A better option. I'm not a fan of seltzer either. I just don't like carbonated drinks.
Yeah, my wife doesn't either. She can't stand them. Or she doesn't like. She'll take a Diet Coke over a seltzer. Let me say that she'll do.
Yeah,
that. Yeah. I grew up on. This is not some hoity-toity thing, but I grew up on what was called New York seltzer.
Okay.
This goes way back in the 80s, and my favorite thing was like their root beer flavored seltzer. Anyways, I'm just really.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever.
So I don't even know if they make that anymore, but there's a lot of new different seltzer companies popping up. Anyways, TNA. So we talk some TNA tonight.
I mean, it's the reason we're here, right?
More or less.
Hey, real quick, I got to address this. Actually, Mir, there's no bubbles. So yes, it's very different. You got to hear. Let me put his comment up.
Oh.
Sorry, I should have did that first.
Coffee can't be that. There's no bubbles in coffee. Yeah.
There's no bubbles.
And it's unless you have like a coffee flavored soda, and that's just.
Ugh.
No, I'll take an iced coffee or a regular hot coffee. Don't get me coffee flavored stuff, because that usually tastes like garbage.
Anyway, the show, yes, the whole reason we're here.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit of news first, because there is a lot of new dates that are either going to be going on sale soon or have been announced, and it's all part of this summer of TNA, or I don't know what are they calling it here. I don't know. It started with the whole Florida thing, but they announced some new stuff tonight, and apparently I've seen everybody and their uncle talk about this, and I don't know where and when this was supposed to be announced, but I've seen so many people talk about Bound for Glory was supposed to be announced today. I have no idea what anybody is talking about or where that started. We don't have it. To my knowledge, it was not on the show tonight, but I will go over some of these newer dates. So we got Slammiversary coming up on July 20th. That's what that's what we're on the road to right now. We got the day after Slammiversary, Sunday, July 21st, for tapings in the afternoon. And then we got August 2nd and 3rd in Tampa, Florida State Fairground. Emergence and TNA Impact tapings. That's August 30th and 31st in Louisville, Kentucky. That's Old Forester's Paris Town Hall. I'm not familiar. I don't know if that's where they were before or if that's a new place. Victory Road is September 13th and 14th for the just regular tapings. Following that, Cleveland, Ohio. I know the next taping's coming up right before Slammiversary is Philadelphia. I'm backing up here. Sorry. June 28th and 29th in Philadelphia, the 2300, the old ECW arena. And I think that's all that was. That's the latest one. And I thought I saw somebody in the comments talk about late September for some tapings, but I don't know where that was supposed to be, North Carolina or something to that effect. But no Bound for Glory yet. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. The company's evolving, the company's changing. Lots of different rumors going around there, which I take all those with a grain of salt. So Dr. Gerbs in the chat says, see you next Saturday, Alicia. You going to be at the 2300 arena?
Yes, sir.
All right. For both nights?
No. Friday, we work, so Friday is just impossible. But Saturday.
I get it. There you go. Well, it's nice that you can make it. That's cool. Barry Monkey into Twitch. No mention of IPWF? No, absolutely none.
Will that even still be a thing going into the future? Wasn't that like Scott's thing?
Yeah, you know what? I know Scott did that a lot in his own home turf.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a call from the roster itself in wanting to do that, I really don't see that happening. That's just a guess, but we'll see. But yeah, that's it for the new dates. One thing I did want to check following the Against All Odds event is to see if there was any changes to the roster. I don't see any. I was hoping for an addition of the Hex, but we're still not seeing that. But they're still here. I mean, they're still on our TV. They had a match today. So, I mean, if, anybody's still wanting to see them, they're still around. So, and, hey, Jeff Hardy's on there. And I don't see anybody complaining about that. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but
my husband's going to be so stoked to see Broken Matt and Brother Nero.
It's, and I said this during the live reaction today. I said, I'm treating it like one of those things. Hey, they're together again in TNA. I think it's
Again.
great. Again, yes. But I'm also treating it like, hey, we could lose them to the WWE at any point. You know, like, do I think they're gonna eventually go there to end their career, go in the Hall of Fame and such? Absolutely. I'm not, I'm not stupid. I'm not, no, they'll never go back there. Of course they're going to. Who doesn't want to go back there,
I don't. Anyway.
No, well,
I'm kidding.
you can be in the TNI Hall of Fame. How about
I kid.
okay?
No, I don't. I'm good.
Is that all right?
I'm good.
No? Okay. Well, I'm sure our audience would put you in the TNI Hall of Fame.
Didn't she retire from wrestling?
Mandy?
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything official. I know she's certainly earning plenty with her OnlyFans, showing a little skin. Beyond that, I haven't heard any indie dates, nothing. So
I mean, if you got it, hey, you got a good thing going. From what I hear, she's making bank. So I would stick to where the money is. And she doesn't have to wrestle.
She was making what, $1 million a month or something to that effect.
Yeah,
it was some astronomical amount. Like, what? Holy cow! Yeah, as soon as she landed on the thing, people just boom lit it up.
So, anyway, it'd be cool. She's cool though. Either way,
I thought she was a good wrestler. I didn't see all of her stuff. I think she certainly improved.
One of the best to come from Tough Enough. I'll give her that.
Yeah,
definitely improved. Was serious,
Yeah, she certainly improved during her time in NXT. I'll give her that. But I know a lot of people are talking very fondly, and we'll get to more of that later. But the what is the young lady that was on there tonight? Heather Reckless from the Chicago area.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people talking positively about her, and this is like the second or third time she's been on there, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if Bill's got anything. Hopefully he'll be in here later. He's on assignment scouting over at AEW right now while they are live. No, just taking in some wrestling. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, let's
jump for news.
I think so. I really don't have much. Well, I mean, we could actually. I should talk about Joe Hendry going viral. If I don't talk about that, I think I'm going to get canceled. Yeah, this time Joe Hendry went viral for appearing on NXT as a part of that Battle Royal on, was it Tuesday? And I got to mention Kaz, too. Kaz was on there.
Frankie Kazarian.
What?
I needed the opening. Thank you.
That is. She'll be here. She'll be here all week.
I'll be here all night.
Try the fish. That's funny. What is that? A hostess? Like?
Yeah, it's a Hostess Casbar. Chocolate, caramel, serotonin.
It's serotonin. It's got to be a heavy dose of serotonin. I'm sure he loads up on those right before each match. If he doesn't,
it's like Popeye with the spinach.
Exactly.
Anyway, kudos to both of them for doing something major in this crossover.
Right. Kaz was part of the last four.
Yeah.
In that event. And I know a lot of people. Joe Hendry in the chat. NXT screwed me. Let's talk about that for a second. Rayline with the bits. Thank you, brother. I also want to mention Punk with the super sticker at the start of the show. Thank you. I know there's a lot of people upset with how things went down with Joe Hendry during the show. And you're all allowed your opinions. There's no wrong opinions here. You could just appreciate the fact that he was on there and be like, all right, whatever, it's wrestling. Or if there's people sounding off like, what are they doing? This is so stupid. Why do something like that? Okay, look. Let's take let's put a little attention on a certain man behind the scenes. You might be familiar with him. His name is Shawn Michaels. Okay.
I don't know him. Who's that? Who? No, I'm kidding.
He's from an alternate universe. He thinks he's cute. He knows he's sexy. I'll stop there. He's got the figure at San Diego Comic-Con this year. He said 2 words after Joe Hendry went off on him and basically said he could show up anywhere at any time at any show, and then left. And the camera zoomed in on Shawn Michaels, and he's like, I believe. So if that doesn't tell you something, that this isn't over for Joe Hendry, something's got to happen down the line. But just the fact that he showed up there and Twitter went absolutely, his appearance video went viral, almost 10 million views at this point. Justin Miller here says 8.8 million views and 95K up to this point for Hendry. That's unbelievable. That's more than all the WWE shows put together in 1 week. And that's for a TNA guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my only retort to that is, why the hell aren't that many people watching the damn show? But hey, that's different, right? This is a social media thing. But hey, hopefully down the line, you hope it translates into a few more views for TNA, because gosh darn it, they deserve it, you know?
Well, that's always been the thing, though, is that people really love the person. They want them to come to their promotions that they support and stuff like that, but don't really support them when they're not there. That's like common all over the board.
Oh, yeah, you see that anywhere, you know, like, oh, why can't Moose go over here and why can't Moose go over there? But you won't watch.
But they don't watch him where he's at. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Right. So it's like, if you're a fan, support them while they're, you know, because down the line.
Well, support them. Like, it doesn't matter where they are. If you're a fan of somebody, support them.
Right. I'm just saying, support them now, because down the line, they may go to the place you want them to go to. But it takes a certain kind of audience to get them to that point.
Yeah, you got to get the buzz.
Right. So why not be part of that? You know, it's like a grassroots. I always thought of being a TNA fan and watching so-and-so go to this show or that show or whatever. It felt like a grassroots thing. Like you're in on the ground level. You know what I mean? Like with Eli Drake turning into L.A. Knight. It's completely exploded, but we've been a fan of his for how many years now? You know?
Yeah, Stefan was really big on him.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that takes a really talented person too. You know what I mean? It's like just goes to show that it really isn't that easy to become a popular, world-renowned name in wrestling.
It takes a lot of hard work.
Years.
Yeah, it does. And Joe Hendry's been doing this for years too. I think I'm trying to think of what the numbers were in his career. It's been like he's been around for like 15 plus years, I want to say. That's a lot of hard work, you know. Man.
Well deserved.
So, it is. It is. So yeah, definitely congrats to Joe and Kaz for going viral and being part of the hype, showing up on NXT. And I know there's so many people out there saying, "Oh, I want this to happen. I want this girl to show up. I want that guy to show up here, over in TNA." Blah 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 blah. I like what they're doing. They're giving us breadcrumbs. Like, hey, here's a little bit of this. Here's a little bit of that. Just look at the hype with one person, though. You know, that's why we can't have everything at once, because then it would just be ridiculous, you know? So I'm glad they're taking baby steps. But by all means, in the chat, you know, sound off. What do you want to see out of this Joe Hendry thing with NXT? You know, and who do you want to see go where next? You know? That's where the conversation starts, is with the
I'm just happy the
audience,
door's open.
What's that?
I'm just happy the door's open.
Yeah, it's how do they say it? It's swinging both ways, or something to that effect. All right,
Revolving
TNA. Door. Yeah, it is. TNA, June 20th. Coming up on a holiday weekend in a few weekends. We're starting out here with the System celebrating in the ring, and Dango comes out, and everybody's kind of saying their piece. They're all getting booed out of the building. It's kind of humorous. Dango's out there, and he's talking up his whole situation there with the System. Obviously, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards and Lish are behind him in this. But Moose, not so much. He's sticking with this core group. He doesn't think Johnny Dango Curtis, which I think is so funny that they're calling him JDC. Johnny Dango. I mean, I appreciate the Johnny Curtis. I've been wanting him to go back to Johnny Curtis for years. I was like, man, just lose the Dango. So this is about the most normal I think we've seen him.
Yeah, I'm glad they're taking this direction with him, because he's a very talented dude, and as good as he was in the role he was performing before as Dirty D, it was time to evolve the character and become something a little more serious, put a title on him. He's a talented guy, so I just think it's a good direction and good team to pair him with if that's where they're going with it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all
There's still titles out there, man.
Sure. I'm all for joining the System. It's power in numbers. But yeah, Moose is not all in on this guy. He's gonna have to work a while to get this. But
fair enough.
We get Santino coming out here.
Oh yeah, this guy, he works here.
It's been a bit.
Well, that's like my running joke, is that it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about him. Where you been?
He's not on there every week. It's like he'll appear several weeks, and then he'll skip like a set of tapings,
and then send Gia to do his job. It's weird. It's weird, buddy.
Yeah, he shouldn't do that. Poor Gia. Oh yeah,
shits and gigs.
Shits and gigs. Poor Gia. But Santino tells Moose, as far as Slammiversary, that he's got a lot of competitors out there, and he can't just pick one. It's like a potato chip; you can't just have one. So he's I don't know. Yeah, it's either music, wrestling, or J-Bone's talking about food. Uh, sorry. But yeah, so he's like, I need to find 5 competitors for you for Slammiversary because it's going to be a 6-man match. And man, oh man, this could go a lot of different ways. And we've got some matches set up, but I know it's not all. I don't think it's all laid out as far as exactly who's going to be there. Because my first thought is, well, you got all these options. Obviously, you're only going to have so many people from the roster filling up those options. My first thought is, now I know I'm reverting to another brand here, but hey, I think this would certainly bring some hype to Slammiversary, is if you include Drew McIntyre in this match. What do you think? Because he just quit Raw on Monday.
Okay. Sure, Jan.
Well, I say quit with quotations. I know he didn't exactly.
Oh yeah, wait, no. Now it's me snapping back into reality, realizing that there is like a crossover thing with TNA and WWE right now.
Right.
Oh yeah, sorry, I just caught up. Hey, hello world. Yeah. Oh yeah, he quit. Okay, quit.
Yes. So
I wonder if he'll show up and save professional wrestling
again, like he did before. What was the saying he had back in 20? Oh gosh, I don't remember what year that was. Was it 2015, 2016? When he showed up in TNA?
Yeah, I want to say yeah.
And there was all these hooded cloak figures on the posters, and it was, I don't know, someone in the chat. If Critical Sting is out there, maybe he remembers, or maybe Critical Sting was too young at the time.
I know this probably isn't Drew's like gimmick, but he's the Highlander, right? There can be only one. Like that's the guy. That's the one.
Well, he used to have a thing where he was the chosen one. I know that, but that was way. Oh yeah, hashtag stand up, the rising. Okay, yeah, that was his thing. Yeah,
cool.
Stand up for No, not stand up and shout.
I'll stand up and shout.
No, that's movie Rockstar. Stand up and shout. Sorry.
What are we talking about?
I told you this is the
The show is horrible for my I was just gonna say my ADHD is so triggered with this show.
And I know I don't help things, so my apologies. But yeah, okay. So 6-way for the TNA title. Who do you all want to see win this? We had one match that was already decided tonight, and we'll get to that. That's the main event. But yeah, these are the Road to Slammiversary qualifiers. That's what they're called. Big words here. My God. A nice promo from ABC here. Talking about how they beat Who the hell did they beat? Oh, yeah.
Who? Wait,
EY and
what?
Josh Alexander.
What? Okay. We're
They were
back to the show and
successful.
not the side rant. Right.
They were, dear God. They were successful at Against All Odds. How about that?
Yeehaw. I did watch Against All Odds. I just didn't do the review for it.
Right, you weren't feeling that
sick.
Good. Something like that. They show the Kazarian promo that he cut as he was exiting the NXT facilities from Tuesday. His post NXT promo basically saying, "You're welcome for having me on the show." Next, we get the first match of the night. So we had a lot of promo stuff and then a first match. So Spitfire versus the Hex. Great to see the Hex still on TV. What'd you think, Alicia?
Like said before, I hope the Hex sticks around. This is a good match. Obviously, the direction is sending Jody and Dani towards a rematch for the belts, which is good. It's like we got to get this. We've been saying this tag team division needs to be beefed up, and it's good if we just start sending everybody flying towards those belts because they're the main belts right now in the women's division. So. Not to discredit Jordan because she's obviously doing phenomenal things as the women's champion right now, but like focus wise, I feel like, yeah, like I just said, no use in repeating.
Yeah. Well, and there's also stuff with Steph DeLander that we'll get to, and Zaya Brookside's been kind of quietly a part of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not tonight, but she's been like a buddy, a friend,
a gal pal,
a gal.
Your friend that you meet up with at your locker in high school is like, "Ooh, that guy's got a crush on you." Ooh. High school, you know.
Yeah, see, I was always on the opposite end of the spectrum of that.
Because Steph DeLander is a face now. I'm very baffled at the turn that they took, but I'm not against it. Anyway, keep going.
I've heard other people comment at that, and I'm like, well, it's like as soon as you're thrown into a bit of a comedy relief of a program, then yeah, I guess you could say you are. It's, it is what it is. And I know PCO is not everyone's cup of tea, but it's I don't know. I think it's okay. I'll take it. If it helps Steph DeLander grow as a character on a show overall, I'm good. And PCO's
we'll talk about it when we get there. We're not even there yet. Let's save all our.
Did I say too much? I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's like we're gonna say this and then we're gonna get to the part of the show and talk about it more.
It's going to be the Steph DeLander show. But Spitfire get the win here over the Hex. Yeah, definitely need to. What?
I got to say, Dr. Gerbs, they made a shirt. It will end soon. It will only end if I buy the shirt.
This is true. This is true. As soon as Alicia bought the... What was it? Rosemary?
It was the Coven. It was the Coven and Rosemary or the Death Dolls.
Yeah.
Although the Death Dolls aren't technically broken up, it's just Jess is out injured, quote unquote.
Is she injured? I thought she was just taking a break.
No, I'm just saying is that like storyline wise, I don't think she's actually injured. I just mean is like under the assumption is that Ash garlicked her to the Nether Realm or wherever they're from.
Yeah, this is is it the Undead Realm?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of craziness.
There's a lot of realms. It's a thing. I can't explain it. You had to be there.
It's TNA. You had to be there. What? Oh. Next, we get the sound check out of nowhere. Alan Angels looks like he just springs this on Kushida. Kushida's just kind of hanging out in the back, and Kushida's like, "What? What are we doing?" And then this turns into showing highlights of what Kushida's been up to with Gresham lately. And Kushida is looking for the cure to the ink. And then they show in one clip, they shows him for a few seconds playing with an octopus. Which
this is it's like a Godzilla storyline, and I'm not against it.
I love it. It reminded me that I keep forgetting that Gresham is the octopus. So the fact that they had a real octopus and they were messing with ink was like, oh yeah,
it checks out. Looks legit.
Yeah, totally. It's all legit ink. But then Kushida and Alan Angels just really don't hit it off during this interview. Looks like they've got a match next week. So, Kushida versus Alan Angels.
Atmir is correcting you.
Of course, Mayor. What is it? It says J-Bone. They showed the reaction to what happened to Rebby before the Kushida segment. Is that?
I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny that, but I know that segment was shown, so why don't we talk about it super quick?
Oh, is that when it happened so fast? That's why they showed.
They showed the replay of what happened last week, and then they showed a backstage of Matt freaking out about it, and he lost that broken accent real quick.
It seemed like he was struggling with it.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth, like that was outstanding.
It went from broken to just freaking angry. And Jeff was just kind of chilling there. Just seemed to be like
seems like Jeff.
Moment. That's very Jeff. Yeah, I was hoping to get a little more out of Jeff this week, considering.
Is he Jeff or Brother Nero, though? What did he come back as?
Well, they screamed Jeff Hardy when he showed up, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy it is.
I guess we'll find out when the t-shirt comes out. How about that?
Yeah, how about it?
How about Brother Nero / Jeff Hardy? How about that? We cover all the bases. But yeah, Matt's pissed. He's and he feels he feels horrible about what happened because he wants his wife's support, he wants her to be there, but he obviously doesn't want her to get hurt in the action. So that's that is definitely going to be the spark that keeps this thing going between the Hardy family, if you will, and the system. So this will definitely we'll see how this changes course over the next 4 weeks leading up to Slammiversary. So yeah, sorry I didn't write that one down. It was a very quick segment. If you blinked, you missed the promo. Kaz versus Ace Steel in a Chicago street fight with the Kaz bars.
Oh, funny high support. Who won the match? Whoa, Frankie Kazarian.
loaded with
Get all your
serotonin.
loaded with serotonin.
Serotonin. And yes, I'm wearing the Raven shirt, so it's just there. It's just there. What did you think of the street fight?
I honestly, personally, I hate to be that asshole, but I didn't see the point of it. Glad Kaz won. Glad it was a match for Kaz, but like, even despite all the news buzz about the guy, I'm unfamiliar with who Ace Steel is, and so this I probably would not say I'm the targeted demographic because it held no importance to me.
Well, he was part of the first Asylum shows with CM Punk.
Okay.
And they actually had a QR code. Everything's QR code-ish, except these are non-creepy QR codes. But if you scan the QR code, it's supposed to take you to TNA Plus, where the CM Punk and Ace Steel were together. I don't know if it goes to the specific episode or what exactly, but
you guys, like, outside of what he's newsworthy for, which is literally what everybody's talking about, I don't want to say it, but it, bite, bite, bite. But it's like, you guys, my point is that I am unfamiliar with his work outside of that.
Okay, so big story is he trained CM Punk among many others.
Okay.
And he's big in the Chicago area. So
yes.
Beyond these tapings, are we going to see him a lot? I kind of doubt it. Which I'm still, just boggles my mind. I guess he is behind the scenes at TNA.
Yeah, I was going to say he's been part of behind the scenes. I know that much, but so that's what I'm just saying is that unfortunately this match didn't have maybe the same importance it would have had for someone who's more familiar with the guy's body of work and his history in wrestling and stuff. So
yeah, and I was saying from the second this match started, it's a street fight. Why is Joe not out there at least?
Well, that's kind of what is confusing to me about this. Whatever is going on is because, like, he's all of a sudden one day he's managing Joe Hendry, but doesn't come out with him, and then suddenly he has a match with Kazarian, a hardcore match, and it's like, well, what did I somehow miss?
And where's Joe Hendry? And as soon as I said that, the
comes
match
out.
is done, and he's attacking him after the match is done. He's got him in the chicken wing or something to that effect. And out comes Joe to rescue him. And I'm like,
Joe's doing a lot of saves lately.
Right.
It's hard to carry the company on your back.
Yeah. But Alicia, don't you know that he's 252 pounds of pure motivation?
Frightening. It's like a freight train.
He can handle it. He can handle it. Trust me. All you got to do is say his name. But yeah, I'm like, he should have been out there sooner or something. It just would have, I don't know.
Well, okay, yeah. So you would agree with me that this kind of feels disjointed and a little wonky.
It's been disjointed. Yeah. Like there hasn't been an even flow between Joe Hendry and Ace Steel.
The math isn't mathing, the connections aren't connecting, but we're happy to see Kazarian. Kazarian. Sorry, I'm here all night.
The trigonometry isn't serotonin. Yeah. There you go. So, well, let me know in the chat what you think about this. Did you enjoy this? Did you feel it was kind of wonky like we did? Let us know, because there's no wrong opinions here. Just let us know. There's a segment then backstage where Ali is with Campaign Singh, and I love it that the camera is like hiding behind something, but he's not really hiding behind something. He's there, but he's not there. And basically saying that there should be a State of the Union speech next week. And then Ali says, "Hey, I have an idea. What if we do a State of the Union speech next week?" And Campaign Singh is like, "Damn, I work with the smartest guy in the world, don't I?" Like, I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said.
Yeah.
He's like, "Wow, what a guy. What a guy." So that's what we're getting from Ali next week, and then in the heat of the world of campaigns across this country of ours, it feels oddly appropriate. John Palmer says too close to reality.
Yeah, it almost makes me wonder, is he a politician in real life? Because that's like frightening accurate.
Some drunk wrestling fan is going to go to the ballots whenever the ballots are open over the next few months,
Ali.
And they're going to write in Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa?
Mustafa.
But it's one of those. I'm pretty sure it's Mustafa. I don't think he likes Mustafa. Because I remember them saying that even back in WWE, he didn't like that. But maybe that was just him being a character. I don't know. But anyways,
no Rocky training sequence. That's not what it is. I'm just kidding. You want me to put it back up?
Yeah, where was that?
Right here. How many times have you seen a manager out there doing a street fight? And I don't feel like his manager. I think he's just training him. But where's the training montage? You know what I mean? It's like he just gave him like a motivational speech backstage in one segment like a couple weeks ago, and that's like the most we've seen of their interactions with each other.
You want to see like them running down the beach together, right?
Rocky montage, bro. Like, I mean, how are you going to make this feel important?
I think I saw Kazarian and Christopher Daniels do that in another company a handful of years ago, and it was absolutely hilarious. But anyways, I digress. PCO is showing up for his date, and the hallways are absolutely lined with supporters. This I thought was almost funnier than the date itself. Go ahead.
So my whole thing is why would these people line up for this man and make loud sudden noises around him, like they don't see him like tearing shit up every week? How are we just gonna line up and act like this is like a romance movie or something? Like, oh yeah, we're gonna slow clap him down to the fucking stage. Like, what? Of course he was gonna try and bite someone. It's PCO. He tried to hit Steph DeLander with a fucking chair. What the hell? You know, like, I believe common sense in the workplace is highly important, guys. This is how we avoid lawsuits.
But this is TNA.
So you're telling me common sense is out the door? This is not the guy you line up in a hallway and like slow clap for. That's like an Ali thing, not a PCO thing. But I appreciated the humor nonetheless.
I'm saying I agree with you. I appreciate the effort on their behalf. I appreciate the effort, but it completely goes out the window. Yeah, because they're like clapping, and then they look down the hallway, and all of a sudden it's just chaos. It's like,
yeah.
It's like the zombie apocalypse. You know, you got 50 people trying to run down a 3-foot hallway. Like, fuck.
Yeah, see? Why did they have them set up like that?
Just follow the chaos to the date.
Yeah, I guess starting off with a bang.
That's how it should have went. They should have been everybody filing out down the ramp around the ring, and then PCO coming out and being like, "Oh, hi, here's my date."
I disagree with just having. There was no reason for the extra people, but anyway.
They're just, you know what? Blame Zaya Brookside for that. She probably put all that shit together. I'm just saying.
Weird. It's weird middle school storyline they're doing with Zaya. Shout out to Steph DeLander for dressing up like Elvira tonight. If nobody got the reference of the hair and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's total like Bride of Frankenstein.
Well, no, it was Elvira. Mistress of the Dark.
No, yes, I get that, but I always considered Elvira to be like a version of like the Bride of
Frankenstein, yes.
Right.
Sure.
With the huge hair, because I don't know. And other stuff.
The gray spaghetti that was dripping dye all over the tablecloth, yeah.
Yeah, the black pasta was just.
It's not rice, pasta. Michael. It's maggots. You're eating maggots. How do they taste?
Now drink this wine. It's not wine. It's blood. Yeah, right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we both know that movie, I guess. Nobody turned here, thank God. So PCO and Steph have their date, and they're doing fine. It's a little rocky, and I mean a little with no, it was really fucking rocky. Like you said, he almost hit her with a damn chair when he was trying to.
That was hilarious. She sits him down, and then he gets up.
I'm gonna pull off the chair and I'm gonna hit you with it. She's like, "No, that's not how that's supposed to go. Just put the chair down. Put the chair down." Oh my God, I'm like, wow, this is gonna be over quick.
I mean, it was, but it wasn't because of them.
It was nuts. It was.
I gotta say, the second part of this segment felt very disjointed.
It did, especially at the fact that now, granted, Steph DeLander is. She looks like a woman who can take care of herself.
Yeah,
you know, she's one tough knockout. We'll just say that. But for one of the biggest guys on the roster to take her and choke slam her through a table was kind of it was like borderline of
she's like a deathmatch girl, right? Like
I know, but your average wrestler watching this is gonna look at this and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, well, she can handle it. She's pretty sturdy.
No, I know she can. It just, like I said, it'd be one thing to scare her and torture PCO and have her cringing in the corner like, no, stop that. And there's nothing she can do to protect him. But then they went the other way and like tied him up and fucked her up. That's what I'm saying. I felt like
the first day was too soon for this kind of drama, though.
Yeah.
They should just let it breathe. Oh, like a bottle of wine, just opened it and let it breathe for a little bit, and then maybe decided in an after segment to have Top Dollar and Swan jump them.
Yeah.
Like as they're going. Yeah. Because I liked what they were doing. I don't know. I'm just biased. I would have rather watched a whole PCO and stuff to land or eat gray spaghetti worms than whatever this was when Top Dollar and Swan came into the picture.
Right, and dump black slime all over the plates for sauce. It's... Or drink it like they did. But yeah, there was definitely a better way they could have done this that would have just, I don't know, made sense to us, or at least me.
Well, no, it's like, because of course wrestling isn't always going to fit everybody's persona, but like, I'm just saying, I would have preferred the segment just to have been, because I understand the rivalry. That's what I'm saying, is once they wrapped up the date and we're going behind curtain, that's when the jumping should have been done. It probably wouldn't have seemed so forced. A little more natural of a reaction.
It would have flowed.
Yeah.
This did not flow. Tying him up and putting her through a table, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I wasn't going to disagree. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think it would have been a little more of an emotional reaction if it was unexpected backstage. It just didn't seem like it clicked so much.
Right. You want your audience to gasp.
Yeah. And then everybody's riding on that high of, they had a great first day. Everybody had some laughs. It was fun, a good segment. And then, bam! Jumped in the back. Oh no!
Right.
And then you get mad at people heated because people are shipping. There's romance in the air, and people don't like when you fuck with the romance in the air. It harshes the vibe, and that's how it should have been done. Right. They cut it in too soon. Anyway.
Right. Usually this stuff happens after you put rings on fingers. Then you put people through tables and...
Yeah, because again, the emotional connection isn't there for him to lose his mind that she went through a table. You know what I mean? It's like... I don't know. I'm reading too into it.
PCO was going to hit her with a freaking chair. For all he knows... This is how the first date is supposed to go. Like, she went to the table. Yay!
Right.
I don't know. Because PCO is not normal. This relationship isn't normal. We're thinking like normal people in normal relationships. So I guess we should just...
I guess I shouldn't try to rationalize anything.
Right.
Okay, so moving on.
It's wrestling. Screw it.
It's wrestling. Who gives a shit? Like, seriously. Right. I look back at history. I'm like, well, is this the worst segment I've ever seen? No, it's not at all. Not even close.
I think the only thing that would have fixed this is if the Dragons would have, swooped in to save the day. I don't know. The fire...
Sure.
Two games of Thrones-ish. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I gotta catch up on that new House of Dragons stuff. I haven't seen any of it.
I just started the third season of the Game of Thrones, so I'm way back here somewhere.
Well, technically you're way ahead because the House of the Dragon is what, like, predates like Game of Thrones by like 200 years.
Oh, that's a prequel.
It explains the history of the Targaryens and the certain, like, in Game of Thrones you'll hear them mention the Dance of Dragons and shit, and like that's what the story they're telling is, like, this civil war between Targaryen families.
So I can start this House of Dragons stuff
and not need to know anything about Game of Thrones
until later.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel so much better.
Yeah. So you can watch it and not have to know. You're just going to have to be prepared to know that there are a lot of characters with very similar names.
Well, see, that's where season 2 of Game of Thrones got all crazy because they added like 20 families, and it was.
I don't want to hear that because I read the books and there's like thousands of characters.
I'll listen to the audio tapes. I can't handle it. All right, back to TNA.
Oh yeah, this is a wrestling show. Thanks for tolerating us, guys. Happy you're
Sorry,
here for
I
the
threw it
word
off.
vomit.
I threw it off with the dragons. My bad. My bad. We get Ash by Elegance versus local Chicago talent Heather Reckless. This is not the first time she's been on here. What'd you think?
It was a good match. I'd like to see something more evolved for Ash. This whole thing has been fun, but I'd like to see her have more matches with women who are on the roster. And it's nothing against the girl she was up against. That girl's actually been around a couple times, like you're saying, and she would be a good addition to the roster.
Yep. Here.
She's got a good look to her, good athletic ability, so I think she'd be great. But Ash, it's like how she's been here couple months now, and she's still getting the jobber squash match treatment, and I'm just ready for more. I know she's capable of it. Like I said, before she even came to the company, I was really big on Ash. So I'm ready for her to start realizing her capabilities. And I know they're going to start building up to like her match against Jordan, but I need her to start wrestling people on the roster.
Yeah, and we got a month to go, so I think there's definitely going to be time for that. I think she'll have at least a couple matches between now and July 20th, Slammiversary. But here she actually took Jordan Grace out and was, Jordan Grace just wasn't ready for Ash here. But in a promo afterwards, Jordan Grace is off to Santino Marella's office. So I'm sure at some point she is talking to him about her next title defense.
For sure.
For Slammiversary. So
for sure.
But yeah, I agree. You want to see her. I mean, the character is good as far as Ash goes. It's a little over the top, but I'm okay with that because whenever heels are I'm okay if the heel work is a little over top, a little over exaggerated.
She's really good at being comedic, and she's a good sport about, even though she's this Ash by Elegance character, she's not afraid to act like a brat, like a crazy brat. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
she turns it on. Yeah.
I had the same issue with Masha and any other new person we've had in where they just get months worth of this same kind of thing where they're like essentially squash matches, and I feel like you become a stronger participant on the roster when you're facing your other peers and not just people they're bringing in for one-overs in certain states. Nothing against that. I think it's good for the first couple of weeks. But once we start getting into months and like really the only rivalry other than like her starting with Jordan has been Zaya, and that again was almost 2 months ago.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's only so many times that we could see her just kind of, like I want to see more shenanigans. I feel like her and Iceman have a capability of being more gremlin-ish and doing more crazy things than what we're seeing from them. More hijinks and shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah, like setting up Jordan to fail.
Yeah, like pranks, like, like have someone distract, you're late to the ring because you got a singing telegram. I don't know. Like, I'm just word vomiting here, but I feel like, you could be doing more with this character than just sitting her down and watching, or just watching her get into squash matches.
So basically, you're looking for more Bugs Bunny versus Elmer Fudd type.
Yeah, yes. Listen, proven fact that is a legit formula that works every time.
Yeah. Yeah. I grew up watching that stuff, and that's why I always go back to that. It's so simple, it's silly, mildly stupid, but damn, it works. You know,
Yeah.
you look at half of those skits and it's like, oh my God, yeah. Acme this, Acme that. Just
something. Or I could even see her being more vicious. Like, I feel like when it comes to facing Jordan, you almost have to have a little more of an edge to you. Like, the silly side works for Ash, but
yeah.
I see it, and I've seen it, that she is capable of being vicious, and she's going to need to tap into that a little more when she's going to face Jordan.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, because Jordan's been nothing but building her like
she is the face of the goddamn company. Like, like there's no ifs, ands, or about it. Like that is the face of the company, and you know what I mean. You got to start bringing stronger characters towards her door.
Yeah. Like this is. I'm sure that in the end, this is all gonna be good and well for Slammiversary. But going forward, the rest of the year is going to be very interesting to see what happens with Jordan, because she's at the height of her career right now so far. Yeah. Next we get I'm so not used to this. JDC. Johnny Dango Curtis. I'll stick with Johnny Curtis because that's what I've been dying for them to go back to. Originally.
Yeah, I'm ready. Johnny Dirty Deed Curtis. All right, there. Okay, but yeah, I'm glad. Now you're gonna have to break this down because I had stepped out during this part of the match, and Stefan, I told him, hey, let me know what happens in case I'm not back in time before it ends. And he didn't watch. He didn't do what he was told, so I don't know how it ends.
Oh, come on, stuff.
I really, like, come on, man.
It'd be like me asking Tracy, be like, all right, now pay attention to this. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay, what happened? Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't watching. I didn't know.
My phone.
You spoke words to me? Like, no, I'm kidding, but still, he zoned out.
It's okay. We forgive.
He's riding off the high. I bought him a new grill. He put it together today, so he's.
Oh,
he's on the roll now.
That's not gonna. TNA is just not going to compare to that feeling. No, completely get it.
No, he's buying all new accessories for it. It was a high.
New tools, new thingies. Yeah. Hang this here, put this there. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. But Ryan Nemeth versus Johnny Curtis. This was a good match. I would have liked this to last a little longer, but it is what it is. It's twofold here. It's showing the feud between the Nemeth brothers and the system, and it's also trying to get Johnny Curtis in the fold. Okay. So the system comes out to celebrate afterwards, namely Eddie and Brian Myers. And they're like, yeah, nice win, nice win. Johnny Curtis gets the win here. And now this is interesting. So, someone, and I'm not going to call out names because I don't remember who said what, but someone called Ryan Nemeth in the chat said he's he's a jobber, and I'm like you don't know the definition of a jobber. I'm like, Brian Myers losing over 150 matches in the WWE was a jobber. Okay. This is one loss for Ryan Nemeth. TNA has done more with Ryan Nemeth in a few short weeks than his several-year career in AEW. Period. End of subject. He's not a jobber here. He's not a jobber here. This is just a simple loss in the storytelling of the Nemeth brothers versus the system. So there you go. Nick Nemeth comes to the rescue because they're proceeding to beat down his brother. I really thought that this was going to be over between the Nemeth brothers and the system.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously it's not. But now you also have the Hardys in the mix of this. So I'm wondering, now we got 4 weeks. Which way is it going to go? Is it going to be the Nemeth brothers versus the system still? Or are we're gonna bring in the Hardys to this, and we're gonna have like 3 teams at Slammiversary or more? What do you think is gonna evolve out of this?
It's hard to say. Because I'm a firm believer. The only way you can truly challenge the system is by having an opposing, well-oiled team.
Yeah.
Right, to kind of match the energy. It's like, 2 sides of a coin train of thought, but it seems like a lot of the times the answer to get rid of a bigger faction is to just hodgepodge a team of superheroes. And I mean, I guess because it's a numbers game too, you know what I mean? You can't really have 2 tag teams versus a full ensemble, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Writing wrestling's not my forte, but
it's gonna go quick. But we got a few weeks till Slammiversary, so it'll be interesting to see how this evolves.
It's going places again. It's like just getting the momentum going and straightening out the little kinks here and there, but it's going in the good direction.
Oh yeah, like you can tell, it's all these guys are still in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
But are they all going to stay in the mix? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Main event time. This was a lot of fun. Did you catch the main event, Alicia?
I thought I did. What was the main event?
It's the Road to Slammiversary qualifier. Eric Young versus Josh Allysin.
Oh my God. No.
Oh,
what? Are you fucking kidding me? No, I didn't see it. What? God, just fire me. It's been 4 years. I don't know why I'm still here.
It's okay.
I don't know how you guys fucking deal with this. I'm just gonna say
went into this like you did. I'm sorry.
My prediction is that Eric, and I'm totally biased, but Eric Young won. God damn it! God damn it! He's listen. I'm just gonna keep it 100. Eric Young is so much cooler than fucking Josh Alexander.
He's
just so cool. He's just cool. You can't, there's no way you can tell me. He's got the cool music. He's got the cool intro. He's got the cool mask. He's got the cool wrestling. He's just cool guy Eric Young, all right? And I
hear you.
He can do no wrong in my book. And it's preposterous that he lost.
He's got a different level of charisma. I'll give you
absolutely. Put the fucking belt on him. You want a champion with the character, charisma, drive, passion, energy, all that shit, Eric Young. Just put the belt on Eric Young. Now that's going to be an entertaining championship reign. Not anything against Josh Alexander, but you know what I mean? That's a long reign, and I'm ready for something fresh.
Well, here also is something fresh. We're gonna bring in a gentleman here. Better late than never. We got
Are
front
we? Are
row
you
Bill
guys
right
gonna
here.
review the whole show?
The show?
No.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Exit Alicia, enter Bill.
Yeah, that would be
rewind.
nice
No.
for me, like, because I have to work in the morning, dude. Sorry. Go ahead, Bill.
No, we'll go over a few points. But no, we're not going to go over the whole show.
No, that's okay.
We're just talking about the main event here. Alicia missed it somehow, but that's okay. We still love her. Bill, what did you think of the main event? We're not going to fire. We're not going to fire. She's got. Hold up the cup, Alicia. We'll just hold up the cup.
I was about to hold up the Casbar. Sorry.
Oh, the Kazbar.
Serotonin.
Yeah. Frankie Kazarian is now Frankie Kazbarian.
That's his own personal. That's like his sponsor now. The Casbar.
He has nothing to do with this. I made the choice.
Oh my god. But yeah.
But no,
Eric
Jay.
Young.
We were talking about it on the Against All Odds. Remember, it was like, oh, are they going to have a feud because there was that little miscommunication? But it was so trivial. But but obviously, we wasn't expecting this. But it wasn't obviously a feud. It was just like two good Canadian kids going at it, and it was no. I thought it was as we now know with the whole qualifier system, which I'm not going to say was predicted, J-Bone, but was predicted. Based on as soon as we had that Joe Hendry loss at Against All Odds, it's like it's going to be a schmaz main event at Slammiversary, and that's what we're getting now. So, and you can kind of go like, all right, who are the ones going after it? And I obviously heard the tail end there with Alicia about Eric Young could be in one of those spots. Obviously, when we saw him come into the company, we saw that happen, like kind of be right in there. And he always is a contender for that. But obviously, Josh was kind of the face for these last couple of years of the company when not injured. So not a surprise seeing Josh, especially coming back from another injury, that he'd be going over. So it makes sense. But no, I'm interested to see how the rest of these play out.
I was going to say,
if
it wasn't going to be Josh, they'd have to have something lined up for Josh leading into Slammiversary really quick.
And I think that's the whole key here, is because it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround. And it's like you're going to have a main event picture clouded with a number of talents, but then everybody else has to have something going on. And the more I watch some other wrestling out there, that seems like when you don't have direction, it's the worst thing in wrestling. That's why you're usually not on TV, because it doesn't make sense most of the time. So I'm sure they'll have something good planned for Eric Young as he kind of skirts around this and into a new storyline.
Yeah, right. Now there is other matches coming next week, and I'm just trying to see if I can quick find them on the social medias. I'm not. There's the Kushida clip.
Oh, Kushida.
Okay, so we had Eric Young, Josh Alexander. There is also. I'm scrolling. Isn't there Santana versus damn it, I'm not seeing it. I know they showed it during the show.
They did, because I think I even saw like them tweet it out earlier.
Yeah. It's Macklin versus someone, Santana versus someone. So they've got at least a couple more here. There's a total of 5, and the match is a 6-way.
Correct.
But now I could be way off here. Do you think? Now I know I'm jumping wrestling universes here.
Oh, we're jumping.
I touched on this earlier, but I want to get your thoughts on this, and we'll talk about a few more things, and then we'll wrap it up. I don't know if Alicia's coming back or not. Do you think Drew McIntyre, seeing as he quit on Monday Night Raw and walked out, do you think no?
That's a no.
You don't
Diego.
think he makes his way to TNA? Do you think he's gonna stay and lurk around CM Punk?
I don't see that crossover. Like, I don't see that kind of main roster crossover this quick. They're just slightly treading with the NXT stuff. If we have like the AJ Styles or like a Drew Galloway type instance, I have a feeling that's closer to Bound for Glory. Like, if this relationship continues on, because I think you got to build to something like that. That feels too quick for Drew to all of a sudden show up. Like, I know AJ's showing up at like Noah and stuff, so it's not crazy, but I think it's not gonna. I can't imagine happening that quick. Although that there is that storyline, I get it, and he has the connection, former world champion here, so it's not an impossibility. I just don't think it's that likely. Like, that seems like something to get hopes too high and then not be happy with the end result.
Yeah.
Because that's too big. That feels like, I always compare it to the Bound for Glory New York, where everyone's like, oh, we're getting Chris Jericho or someone of that ilk.
Yeah.
And then it was Ellsworth.
This is the best. This is the best part of wrestling right here. You got people online. This is Swag Fan.
Well,
thank you, Swag Fan. People online actually thinking Drew, since he quit Raw, he's going to show up in AEW. Really? He literally just re-signed with the company, so it's all storyline. Yeah.
Well, what's worse, that one or Shane McMahon?
Oh God, that's another good one. Yeah. Oh, because they actually talked,
No. Who said they actually talked, J-Bone?
They actually had a conversation. Well, Conrad knows everything.
Get out of here, Conrad.
Conrad knows, like, you ask him anything about wrestling.
I'll tell you, J-Bone, I'm like coming on late here, but the dirt sheets, man, they have gone down roads now that they're even worse than they used to be. Because what gets reported now as fact is like one dude in the back, probably half stuff in his face and catering, says like, I think this. Then it's all over the dirt sheets. Or it gets talked about. Like, it's like a thing. Like, people have conversations. People talk about stuff. But it doesn't go up any chain. But these people are just running with this stuff. Like, how many TNA stories have been debunked over the last month?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's comical. Okay, so this makes sense. Mayor is the line of reason here. Drew is taking time off. His wife just had surgery. I think I actually did hear something about his wife being ill or something. So, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. And in the meantime, CM Punk can get cleared, come back, and as soon as Drew's wife is fine, out of the clear, he can come back and mess with CM Punk and just wreck that. So,
honestly, like, although this stuff, I think a lot of it's more in play. Like, when you look at how over the Joe Hendry thing is, what is that now? I don't know how many million views his NXT debut was, but if they want to utilize him more because of all the eyes he can bring to the product, then it's crazy to say, but TNA might have a little bit of hand in this relationship right now. And they might be able to push things a little bit and go, hey, all right, we'll give you Joe this date, and this date, but you got to kind of give us a little more than we were originally thinking. Like maybe that is a Drew. Maybe that is an AJ sooner than expected, an Italia. So maybe that does kind of change the playing field because he is so over right now.
Right. Yeah. And I know there was a lot. I touched on this. I know a lot of people were upset the way things went down with like Kaz ended up being in the last 4 of that battle royal. Hendry was the first one out.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people were like, well, there was a very loud bullshit chant. There were TNA chants. Still, like even louder TNA chants than I feel like than before, which is
he's the screwed over face right now. He's the screwed over face storyline going on right now, but the most over guy in the world right now.
He is. And like, he went back.
He's going to finish his story, J-Bone.
He
just in case you missed the memo.
Would somebody please finish their goddamn story? Shawn Michaels in the back after him like yelling at him. Yeah. He's cooking in the back. And he's like, he said 2 words. He's like, I believe.
Hey.
So
if the Heartbreak Kid believes, we all gotta believe.
Then yeah, absolutely. So this clearly is not the last we're going to see of Joe Hendry in the mix here.
But I like that the storylines are there because the not TNA viewer, but hopefully maybe some people here that maybe are normal TNA viewers are winding up following it. But like these are storylines going on TNA television. You first had Jordan with Ash, which we now know is happening at Slammiversary. And now you have Joe Hendry and Kaz, undetermined if maybe that will happen at Slammiversary in some type of big grudge match, or at least it will be happening on TV leading up to it.
Yeah. And we were also kind of talking about the Ace Steel stuff feels off.
J-Bone, I don't want to beat the proverbial dead horse. But I know as soon as we talked about this, on last week's review going into Against All Odds, I didn't get it at all. Yeah. I'm glad they pivoted from him being in the corner of Joe Hendry in that match because that made no sense to me. That he made a save. You can have anybody make a save, and it was in Chicago. Okay, fine. Yeah. The street fight, once again, it's Chicago. I was there. I don't think it's not like Tommy Dreamer in Philly or New York. Like where you can book that match, and I get it. You get some great local pop for it. You got some, but honestly,
nostalgia pop.
Yeah, I hate to say it because I don't want to just be negative towards Ace, but if he's showing up on TV and isn't doing an angle with Punk or somehow including Punk in some way, I don't think he gets over. So I don't know if you really can do anything in 2024 with Ace.
Well, and I felt like Joe Hendry should have been involved more because now it's just.
Well, but that's the thing. They almost totally separated it until the end, same way. So, but that's what I think. I think that's what you got to do because, like I said, all that does is maybe give a slight rub to Ace. And why are we giving a rub to Ace? Because he's in his hometown. Like that only hurts Joe using him in that storyline. Is my thought.
Right.
So but they somehow they booked themselves into a box with this Ace Steel storyline. I'm hoping now after this week it's kind of gone. Let's forget it ever happened.
Yeah. Right.
I gotta imagine they just went down that route, and I think they sort of realized it at least halfway through. We shouldn't be doing this, and they kind of backed out as gracefully as possible. So
yeah,
there you go, bonus baby. Hey, I want all the viewpoints, and like I said, he was fine in the match. I just don't get it.
Oh, sure.
I just don't get the booking. Like I don't know what it brought to the table, and the whole thing with Joe. That's the whole thing. If you want to do it separate, as like maybe even like I don't even know though if it should be a TV match. You got to have you can't just put them together again, Kaz and Joe. I get that. So he's the buffer, I guess, in this situation. And they were in Chicago. Oh, yeah, and there's Mayor going over the matches for next week. Nick Nemeth versus Rich Homie Swan, and Macklin versus Callahan.
The Macklin versus Callahan is one of the Slammiversary matches, and then there's more in 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, so are they giving us 2 next week?
Well, they advertised a couple for 2 weeks away.
Okay.
So, so I don't know exactly how all the Chicago stuff went down, but we're going to slowly figure out everybody over the course of now in Philly.
J-Bone does not know, so he was not there, so no spoilers from J-Bone.
No,
he can't slip.
Well, I looked at spoilers, and so because I heard about the match, and I'm like, I kind of knew Jordan was doing her thing with Ash, and then I heard about the X Division thing, but beyond that, everything else just completely went in one eyeball and out the other. So, if I don't sit on spoilers like, okay, no, this has got to happen, and then this has to happen after this. No.
Oh yeah, never do that if you are a spoiler person. I guess the good thing about that is usually it will come together a little differently than.
You're right, because there's always stuff that happens in back. There's promos. There's
sometimes they're out of order.
Right.
Sometimes you never know. Like there's still the great years ago where they almost went out of business, and Alicia's back. Hey.
Hey.
Hey-o.
I figured I'd let you guys catch up.
Yeah, we were catching up. Like old friends swapping stories.
We're already halfway through the show, so we're almost over.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. No, we touched on a few things. We were talking about the Ace Steel stuff, the Joe Hendry stuff.
Yeah.
One last thing we'll touch on, and then we'll get out of here. The biggest drama of the entire episode this week, the date of PCO and stuff. Alicia and I actually had a very, very good discussion on this, and we both, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's basically in the sense of what happened with Steph at the end, with like everything leading up to it was like goofy, it was comical, we're on board, okay. But then when you bring in AJ and Swan and they start this whole, beat down on Hendry, and it went from torturing Hendry.
You mean PCO?
Sorry. Damn. We talked Hendry so much. I'm just throwing Hendry in every story.
You cannot talk about Joe.
He's viral.
By the way, it's going to be PCO, Steph DeLander, and Joe Hendry versus Moose at Slammiversary. Anyways. You following along? Now? All right. Say his name, right?
And Josh Alexander, because he's qualified, J-Bone.
Of course. Yes. Yes. Even though Alicia wanted Eric Young. Eric Young, she wants
Super Eric chants throughout the arena. Love to hear it.
Yeah. If it's up to her, she's going to be, EY is going to be champ again.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Okay. So when all the attention started going on PCO, they tied him up, whatever. And then they went after, she's like, what? And then they went after Steph DeLander and put her through a table. We both kind of went by the way of, it should have been Steph DeLander just watching them mess with PCO after the fact, after the date, it would have flowed better. But the fact that now, okay, yes, she is a deathmatch wrestler like
She's a
Masha
pro.
and such, but I don't think everybody knows that in this audience.
Well,
So
I
they're
think
gonna
that's
look
the thing. They went for some shock factor in my mind with this.
big time.
Obviously, big like no one's. I don't think people were expecting AJ to do that.
It's too soon for the shock factor.
Too soon.
Too soon. That's my opinion. Is that it was too soon. It's like we didn't even get through the first date. So for PCO to be over Steph
Well, that's the
getting
thing,
put
yeah,
through
because
the
now
table,
you're driving him
it's like,
crazy.
yeah.
His one love, you just
But they haven't even had a full conversation yet. It's not love. It's moving too quick. It's
but
moving
here's the
too
thing,
quick.
though. To be fair to the storyline, how long can you stretch it out?
We didn't even get to the main course.
Yeah. My point is how how J-Bone is saying is that you instead of having AJ and Swan come out to interrupt it, is let them finish the date, and as they're exiting stage left to go backstage is when you get the jump, because everybody, all the crowd's riding on the high romance. Like I said before, romance is in the air. You kill the romance in the air, you harsh the vibe, and it disturbs everybody. And so everybody's going to be like, oh, fuck that. Like, everybody's going to be more invested because it's like we are rooting for them because you got the whole date. And then AJ and Swan decide to ruin it at the end and jump them both in the back. It doesn't matter that, like,
TNA's been criticized for that because they've done that a lot lately. Backstage beatdowns. That's common.
It's not. It's not that common in TNA. It's more. I feel like it happens more.
Just taken out like a week ago.
No, yeah, but this is a completely different scenario. This is
that wasn't backstage.
It was like up against a garage door. Moose chaired him to death.
Yeah, but that's a headlining feud. This is AJ and Swan messing with the comedic factor of the whole episode. Like, yeah, they're in love. We're in on the joke. We can appreciate this. This is TNA. This is TNA's sense of humor, and it just felt like it was way too much. I would have been much more comfortable with something a little more typical of attack the guy. There's Steph. Steph's like, oh no, what do I do? I'm okay with like Pie Facer in the corner, kind of like Back to the Future. That's it. You put her through a damn table. It's like what Bully did to What's-Her-Face in Ring of Honor. Was like, excuse me?
Oh,
like, oh my God.
Like that is one of those things. And it's, although I gotta admit, once they went in there, but like obviously I know Steph pretty well, her what she does in the ring. As soon as he got in there, I'm like, he should put her through the table. That's what I would do. That's how I would book it, because I think that's just the heat. Like you get that extra heat.
Okay,
but it is risky because you're going to turn people off doing that. That's no doubt.
That's what I'm saying. Your
like,
average
honestly,
wrestling fan is like, ooh.
But like at against all odds, when Matt put Rebby through the table, I think I called for that spot on our review show beforehand. Like that's what you should do. Now, once again, that's accidental, so you can write that off a little bit more. But this just like AJ's now like he threw a woman through a table. That's now on his ID going forward.
Yeah, that's
that just says I'm a bad guy. Like I'm a very bad guy. But once again, it's hit or miss.
I'm a bad man.
Yeah, it's going for that super heat, bud. I could see it. I could see it both ways. Like I get where you guys are coming from. I could definitely see it doing that, but I don't disagree with how they did it.
Right.
I kind of see I see what they were trying to do, and it's all still though because this has to culminate at Slammiversary because PCO has to be in a huge angle based on where it is and what he's done to promote the event.
Just don't.
Because there's going to be like PCO chants will probably be in the opening of the show, no matter when he's there. They're going to be chanting PCO probably throughout the show, is my guess.
Oh, yeah. Just don't put Steph DeLander on a, forklift. That's,
And now, like, I see like John Palmer here. Like, and I think this is how you kind of, but once again, it gets in that thing. But remember, we were in a company that made intergender very common for a while, but now they don't really anymore for the most part.
It's been a while.
Now Steph needs to choke slam Swan. Like, there is some of that is needed. Heck, I think Steph might be able to choke slam AJ.
Yeah.
She might be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
And what kind of moment would that be if Steph choke slam AJ? That'd be awesome.
Oh, the blow the roof off the place. It would absolutely
Philly crowd going nuts. Oh, I like the sound of this, J-Bone.
Yeah, it'd be 2,000 to 3,000 people going, ah, it'd be deafening. Yeah, it would. Yeah, it's the ultimate revenge. And then, Steph DeLander goes up to PCO. She dips him, kisses him. They ride off into the sunset. Amen. All right. So, all right. But I think that's about it for the show tonight.
TNA, it's a love story.
It's what are you going to do? It's love, right? But that's going to do it for the show tonight. Bill, thank you for coming in. Better later than not. Glad you got home safe. And but yeah, and thank you, Alicia. And thank you all for joining us. On your way out, folks, you know what to do. Check out all the links in the description of the video. Get yourself some merch. Check out where to listen to the audio online. And make sure you smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. We will see you soon. We are on the road to Slammiversary, so y'all better hang out. Good night.